Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be going over 5 advanced aim tips for controller or console Fortnite. These tips are going to be a lot more in-depth than typical aim tips like aim for the head or find a sensitivity you're comfortable with, and they should be able to help you with a variety of different aiming situations ranging from close to long-range fights. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first advanced aim tip in this video is a situational aiming technique that I call re-ADS aiming. This is something that you'll see me do in my gameplays from time to time, specifically with fully auto weapons, and a lot of people actually mistake this aiming technique for ADS spamming. I actually just saw a comment on my video a few days ago where someone asked something like, "Why are you still L2 spamming with the SCAR? Don't you realize that doesn't work anymore?" And that is definitely true. Now that Legacy's gone, you no longer get any kind of added aim assist by ADS spamming, but that's not the purpose of re-ADS aiming at all, so let me show a clip and explain it. So first, I'll just play it in full speed, and on the surface, I can totally see how this would be mistaken for L2 spamming. It did kind of look like I was just pressing the left trigger over and over again and hoping it magically locked me onto the enemy. But in reality, re-ADS aiming is a way to track an enemy who's moving very erratically like that guy was. As I'm sure you all know, your ADS sensitivity is a lot lower than your non-ADS sensitivity. I'd say on average most players use around 40 to 45% non-ADS sensitivity, and then maybe a 10 to 14% ADS sense. So on average, when you ADS, your crosshair moves about 3 to 4 times slower than it does when you are in ADS. One situation where that can be really problematic is when you ADS in a somewhat close range fight, but your initial aim is bad, and your crosshair lands pretty far away from the enemy's body. With that super slow ADS sensitivity that we just talked about, it can take a solid amount of time for you to actually readjust your crosshair and get it to where it needs to be. And as I hinted to earlier, imagine if the enemy is also sprinting or jumping in the opposite direction you're moving the crosshair. In that situation, depending on how bad your initial ADS was, it could take you a solid 2 to 3 seconds to finally get it on the enemy's body, and that entire time you'd just be standing totally still, probably out in the open. So re-ADS aiming is a way to prevent that situation from happening. What I'll do a lot of the time when my initial ADS crosshair placement is bad is I'll immediately un-ADS. And now, since I'm moving 3 to 4 times faster than I would be if I was still ADS, I can reposition my crosshair much quicker and go for another ADS, hopefully getting the crosshair in the right spot this time. It's a technique that takes a little practice to get used to, but once you do it a few times, you really start to get a feel for it. And just keep in mind that the technique is definitely most valuable in close range, specifically with fully auto ARs and SMGs. The next advanced aim tip is one that's super important in close range edit fights. In a recent shotgun tips video I made, I talked about a mistake that a lot of people make where they'll confirm an edit, kinda pause for a split second as their mind goes from editing to shooting mode, and then they'll try some crazy flick shot with their shotgun. So I emphasized how important it is to try to make editing and then shooting a shotgun one smooth process instead of 2 separate ones. Well, this tip takes that to another level. What a lot of people mistakenly do in edit/box fight situations is that they'll make the same edit every time regardless of where the enemy is. The example I always give is the bottom right corner edit where you go from top to bottom, so when you complete the edit you're basically looking at the ground, and that's obviously going to make it kinda hard for you to hit your enemy. So an advanced aiming skill that a lot of top players have is the ability to do edits in a way where when they confirm the edit, their crosshair is already pretty much right on the enemy. Let's say, for example, that you're in a box fight or whatever, and the enemy's on the other side of your wall, pretty much right in the middle of it. So that's obviously a super common situation that you'll find yourself in all the time. So like I said earlier, if you do a bottom or top corner edit in this situation, when you confirm the edit, your crosshair positioning is going to be pretty bad. So a really great alternative would be doing a bottom corner 4 tile edit like this. You can see how when this edit gets confirmed, your crosshair is actually in a great spot to where you barely even need to move it. Let's say this time, instead of them being in the middle, they're now on the left side of your wall. In that situation, you can do a bottom corner edit, but from bottom to top, and now your crosshair's perfect. This can even go beyond just simple wall edits as well. Let's say the enemy builds a ramp to get on top of your roof and tries to break in. If they're on the right side and you want to make an offensive play on them, you could do an edit like this that lines the crosshair up with them perfectly. And obviously, if they were on the left side, you could just flip it. The next advanced tip is another one revolved around AR and in some situations SMGing. So let's say there's an enemy maybe 40 to 50 meters away, so a medium range fight, and he's just out in the open, not really facing you. Fairly common situation, I'd say. As I've said before on this channel, the obvious play here is to pull out your AR, put your crosshair on that enemy's head, wait for the first shot accuracy indicator, and then fire. However, something that I don't think I've mentioned before is that pretty much as soon as you start firing, you want to gradually move your crosshair down, so away from the head and towards the body. The head area on a Fortnite player model is obviously very small and skinny compared to the body. So even if you put your crosshair smack dab in the middle of their face, there are a few different things that would cause you to miss. The first and most common one is going to be bloom. The first shot's fine because you have first shot accuracy, which means no bloom at all, but after that, with how small a character model's head is at 45 to 50 meters away, you're going to need super lucky bloom to hit even 20 to 30% of your shots. The other issue here is going to be player movement. Again, the head is very skinny, so even if you have the crosshair positioned perfectly, but the enemy moves slightly to the left or right while you're shooting, that's going to be enough to dodge probably all of your bullets. So moving your crosshair down to the thicker part of the body won't solve all these problems, but it gives you so much extra area to hit that it'll massively help. And now that the AR headshot multiplier is only 1.5 instead of 2, it's even more of a no-brainer to do this now. Advanced tip number 4 is another situational technique, and I call this one 3P pre-aiming. As I'm sure you guys all know, Fortnite is a third-person shooter game, and that basically means that you can see your entire character model and a large portion of the area around you at all times. One specific situation where you can really take advantage of this is to see around corners and pre-line up your shot. Let me show you a clip of this in action. So in this situation, I'm going to be chasing an enemy, and then he runs through a door and I lose sight of him. Instead of running through the door as well and sort of just guessing where he is and trying some crazy flick, I third person look around the corner, locate where he is, pre-line up my crosshair, then just kind of slightly nudge around the corner and hit an easy headshot. So this is obviously such a helpful technique for two different reasons. First off, it obviously makes it a lot easier to hit shots if you know where your enemy is and you can pre-line up your crosshair. But using this technique is also so much safer for you as well. If I had just ran through that door and checked the right instead of the left, I would have gotten blasted and maybe even straight up died there. So obviously this is something that you're only going to have a chance to do a small percentage of the time, but especially for early game fights, it can be a real lifesaver. Our final tip in this video is one that deals with situations where you're barrel stuffing enemies. This one's kinda hard to explain, but I'm gonna try my best. So the aim assist that we currently have in the game is very strong at point blank range. It's actually so strong that aim assist will sort of nudge your crosshair in the right direction faster than you could ever possibly react, and this is most apparent when an enemy jumps. So the tip here is that when you have your crosshair on the enemy at point blank range, you really want to avoid making any major movements, and you sort of want to let aim assist move your crosshair in the right direction initially, and then build off that by continuing to track the enemy. If you make those super flicky and reactive movements, you basically risk overriding the movement in the right direction that aim assist gives you. I know that probably sounds super confusing, and it's something that you really need to get a feel for to truly understand. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. I want to know, which specific type of aim do you struggle with the most in Fortnite? Shotgun aim, AR aim, SMG aim, or something else? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.